I don't get it. I don't understand why this movie is receiving so much hate. This movie actually did exceed my expectations, and it is a sign that Marvel is starting to move back in the right direction as far as movies. This is my spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen it, make sure that you go see it, but I've given you about a week to go see it, so you should have seen it already. So, getting into this movie, as I said, I think that it's pretty good. It's carried by Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie. They are basically the stars of the film, and I really liked Anthony Mackie's performance. I am an Anthony Mackie fan, so I probably would have liked it either way. I did like him and his show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Bucky does make a little surprise appearance in this film. But as far as Falcon, I felt like it was a nice continuation to that series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now that he's fully embraced the role of being Captain America, he's getting a lot of pushback, and surprise, surprise, it's for the same reason that people don't like the film, because he's black, so people got a problem with it. And I just want to say, watch the interview from Chris Evans and the interview from Anthony Mackie. They both said the same thing. Nothing anti-American. They just feel like Captain America is supposed to do what's morally right, not a blindly obedient, flag-wielding superhero. I also felt that his portrayal of Captain America was accurate. I've long since said, as far as strength, Sam Wilson, Captain America, is not the strongest, but he does have a lot of heart, and he's willing to do the right thing, and it was the right choice to give him the shield instead of Bucky. When we get into the film itself, I do have to say that he was doing more than just your average bird kicks. He struggled a whole lot. Harrison Ford came out his mouth, though. He was calling him boy. I was about to say, you need to just smack him right now with those vibranium wings. And speaking of his suit was also a whole lot better, but it was still a much less functional downgraded version of an Iron Man suit. But he did get like a nice little helmet with it, and of course he had those vibranium wings. I feel like they made him a lot stronger than he actually is, but that could have just been the enhancement with the suits. In this film also he gets a Mexican sidekick, and that guy, I didn't really care for him, but he was like aspiring to be the next Falcon, and although they changed his character a bit from what it was up in the comics, I felt like it was a nice little mesh. I wasn't crazy about their on-screen chemistry, but it was good enough for the film. Also, they make it very clear that Captain America, Sam Wilson, will be the one to be leading the Avengers in future projects. Now, as far as the villain of the film is the leader, I like the way that they made him look. They made him more accurate instead of like having like a huge long head like he's Vegapunk from One Piece. He did exactly what the leader does. He didn't do any karate or they didn't add in any fighting elements. He was just really smart, making plans and messing up everyone's lives through the plans that he was making. Although he was underwhelming, because outside of outthinking people, he really didn't do much besides shoot that one guy. He didn't really feel too menacing. He was kind of like a villain that was kind of setting up for future arcs in the MCU. Now, as far as Harrison Ford, he was the other great talent. I'm not a huge fan of Harrison Ford in most of his movies. I feel like he's the same guy. He does exactly what Anthony Mackie does. Anthony Mackie is himself in any role, just like Nick Cage or Samuel L. Jackson. They rarely ever come out of who they really are in any given role that they're given, but their personality works for it. And this time, for once, Harrison Ford's personality, he even threw in a little bit of acting, really worked well for this character. And I know what you're saying, oh, you don't like Han Solo? I'm good with Han Solo. I'm okay with Indiana Jones. Although he has the most boring job ever and he solves all his problems with a whip, which is kind of racist. But then again, Harrison Ford was kind of racist in this whole movie, and he really was not trying to work with anybody. I liked, how he was transitioned into Red Hulk. I was a little surprised that he didn't remain in the Red Hulk form, and I was a little surprised that they made it have like a gradual effect connecting him to the leader, but it all makes sense. And spoilers, this movie is like a sequel to the Incredible Hulk movie that we got in 2008 with the great Ed Norton. The best Hulk that we ever had. Mark Ruffalo is just mid. But Ed Norton, I understand he was hard to work with, but he did do a lot for the Incredible Hulk. Like, that was the first and only really good Incredible Hulk movie that I feel that we've ever gotten. And then when you really get down to it, I felt like his Red Hulk was a little depowered because Red Hulk is supposed to be sentient. But I guess, you know, just like when somebody turns Super Saiyan, it's very intense at the first transformation, except if you're She-Hulk, because apparently she could do everything that a man could do but better because she's a She-Hulk. But anyway, mid-series aside, I felt like Harrison Ford did a really good job when it came to portraying Thaddeus Ross. I had no complaints, but I hope from this point forward, because of his age, that anytime that we see Red Hulk from now on, he's just in Red Hulk form, and they just have Harrison Ford just voice acting him, because he's an older guy, and you know, not that anyone can't pass away, but like he's pretty much there. He's pretty old. I'm glad that this was a film rather than TV show or a second season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because it would have dragged on too long. They gave us just enough, and I have to say, my man Sam Wilson, Captain America, is basically the Naruto of the MCU because his talk no jutsu is immaculate.
He's out of line, but he's right.
My man Captain America, Sam Wilson, was talking to the villains like,
"It's almost unbearable, isn't it? The feeling of being all alone. I know that feeling. I've been there."
He was talking down the Red Hulk. He was talking through his problems. He even got to reason with the leader. And it makes sense. It tracks with the fact that he was a counselor for wounded soldiers. But then also too, I do enjoy his little TED Talk speeches that he does do up in the films. It's not corny enough that I won't listen, but it's always something real sprinkled up in there. And I like that he was dealing a lot with the black end of being Captain America, because a lot of people were not giving him that respect that he deserved, and it caused him to have a lot of self-doubt. He even said, "I think I should have taken the serum when I had the chance," but it was pointed out to him that he's got to do whatever he can, and that's the point of being a black man. Basically, the chips are stacked against you, but you got to do the best that you can with what you got, and that's what I liked about the portrayal of Captain America in this particular film. I did like that this also looped around into the forgotten Captain America, Isaiah Bradley. I like that they used him in the film, although I don't know why they gave him that haircut. I was like, what is this dude? I'm looking sharp. I'm looking good. Look at what I did here, boy. That's my impression of how an old man talks. But anyway, back to the video. They had him, you know, locked up for most of the film, and he was like the most powerful person. I mean, he still had it. I understood that he was, you know, like a plot device giving Falcon, you know, something to fight for. I really did not appreciate the fact that they did Captain Israel, but they didn't make her Captain Israel. They retconned her to being like a ex-Black Widow that's a White House aide. I really didn't care for that, and I didn't care for any of the White House aides. They try to say that Sam had like a friend on the inside and all that, but she didn't do anything in the film either. But last but not least, I need Hollywood to understand something. Giancarlo Esposito, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Pratt, Nick Cage. These are not the answers to every single casting problem. They basically wasted a whole casting on Giancarlo Esposito. He played this villain that really did nothing in the film, was meaningless. All he did was just kind of eat up time and be a pawn. Yo, you cannot be doing my GOAT like this. Like the way he got drop kicked in the chest by my man Sam Wilson, that was straight disrespect. How y'all do my GOAT like this, bro?
He's out of line, but he's right.
You know, I want to see my man Giancarlo Esposito get some respect on her name. My man got kicked so hard, he woke up and he was back in Breaking Bad. You know, he's a great actor, and he should have not even been in the movie as that character. They could have got a no-name actor. Like, this character was such garbage and trash. Like, it's like a War Machine level character. And I bet you if War Machine fought that character, he would still lose. But it was a trash character, throwaway character nonetheless. Anyway, as far as my rating for this movie, I have to say that I give this movie a 7 out of 10. It was a solid 7. It wasn't the greatest. The action scenes weren't the greatest. The dialogue was a bit annoying at times. It was not annoying to the point that it made the movie unenjoyable. As far as how the movie was shot, I felt like somebody put Vaseline up on the lens a little bit, because some of these shots were hazy. But as far as the story, how it progressed, how the actors were able to interact with one another, I felt like everybody did their job to an acceptable degree. And as I said, Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford really shone brightly. All I can say is, if this is the direction that Marvel is going to be going with its films, well then that gives me hope that Marvel will recover and that I will like more of their movies. I may even forgive them for No Way Home, but that's a story for another time. At this time, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this review for Captain America Brave New World. Make sure that you interact with all the buttons on your screen. Make sure that you show me some support on all 4 of my platforms, especially my new platform, which this is on. This is an exclusive video on Turtles Reviews. Alright guys, I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.